Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Therapeutic Edge. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, before we go any further, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you here on a regular basis. Helps the channel. And, if you like knife content, you've come to the right place. So what is on the table? Well, this interesting looking knife is the Mach51 from Tempest Knives. Tempest Knives is, in fact, our friend KC over at KnivesFAST and the KnivesFAST channel. He is a big fan of classic racing cars and classic racing planes, and this knife brings all of that and a little bit of style to the table. He sketched this out a while back, took it to QSP. This is a prototype. There will be some subtle variations in the production knife, but not much, and brought it to life. Now, it is a very polarizing knife. Some people see it. You can absolutely see the race car thing going on like that. Right, a little bit of plane action. I love that the pivot looks like a 5-spoke racing wheel. Some people look at it and really can't get past the fact that it looks a little bit like a car. Other people love it. And I have to tell you, I really like that about it. It's easy to make this as just a knife. It is much more difficult to put this much stylization into a knife, knowing that not everybody is going to love it, and bring it to the market anyway because you love it. I am 100% behind that. A knife maker that is very much along this sort of line, doing what he wants, is Adrian over at Damn Designs. The Damn Designs stuff, in fact, hang on a second. And I'm back. You probably couldn't tell, but I went away for a second because I want to do this. Adrian over at Damn Designs makes knives that he likes. Funky stuff, right? Really interesting. And of course, stuff like the Banshee. I mean, come on. These are not this. It's just a knife. If you like this, you may not like these. That's okay. But Adrian, and now our friend KC, decided instead to bring knives to the table that they find interesting, that they like. And it turns out that I like them too, and so will a lot of people, but maybe not everyone, and that's okay. If you want just a knife, there are lots of options. If you want something with a little more personality, well, you might want to check out the Mach51. But here's the most important part. Now I'm going to get to the specs and everything in just a minute. Here's the most important part. For all of its unique design aesthetic, it is ridiculously comfortable in hand. This knife is an absolute worker, sort of dressed up. And I love that. I think Casey absolutely killed it with this. What you can't see, maybe in this light, is that there is a little bit of orange peel, micro milling on the on the titanium. He went with, very deliberately, a wire clip, which, by the way, my understanding is this will fit all the standard Spyderco replacement clips as well. It's the same spacing. And yet, because of this shape, it just... And the wire clip, there's no hot spots, there's no nothing. So while it is kind of funky looking, this will absolutely put in a day's work without a blink. And that's cool. Right? A lot of knives that reach into the sort of stylized zone give up functionality. Casey's Mach51 has done none of that. So again, if this isn't the knife for you, that's cool. You don't have to like it. There's no judgment there. It's fine. But if you do like it, you will not be disappointed. Let's talk about some specs. It is going to have an M390 blade. It is running on bearings. It is all titanium, as I said, except for the steel wire clip, but you can replace this with titanium, which works beautifully. It is a frame lock with a steel lock bar insert. The proto here is locked up at about 40%. It is very smooth on the bearings. Now, deployment, that is one of the places where the stylization comes in a little bit. You kind of have to Spidey flick it. You can roll it out, no problem, all day long. But if you want a quick deploy, you have to be able to Spidey flick it a little bit. Now, JB over at Big Red EDC, who is not the world's greatest middle finger flicker when it comes to knives, was still able to pop this thing open without an issue. So Might even be a good knife to practice on if you're not that familiar with it. Because of this big sort of fullered cutout, which is also the windshield, right? You see that? You can put your finger in any number of places and get really good purchase to flip this thing out. But again, you can just roll it out, which is nice. The blade itself, whatever. The blade itself has almost a saber grind, right? It's got a beautiful swedge up here at the top. This rounded spot is really good for, your thumb lands quite comfortably right on top of it, and if you're going to do draw cuts, it gives you a great place to land your finger towards the front of the blade. The overall shape with this forward choil, right? You can, my big old hand fits the back end of the knife perfectly, but if I want to come forward, it's equally comfortable. It is a really lean design. Now, on the backspacer, which is very short, it just says Tempest Proto. It will eventually just say Tempest Knives back here. Other than that, the blade itself is, and it's got a little M390 right here. The blade is sterile, which is really nice. It's stone-washed on the inside of this sort of fuller space, or windshield, depending on what you want to call it. Cockpit? We'll call it the cockpit. It is stone-washed on the inside of the cockpit and satined out everywhere else, which is fantastic. It's just lovely. You're going to get 3 1/4 inches of cutting on M390 with 3.5 inches overall on the blade. The grip area, we'll do it in 2 ways. From behind the first swell, you're looking at all the way to the tail is just about 3.5. But if you add in that choil, 1, 2, 3, 4.5 inches. So 3.5 or lots of room. It's up to you. It is very lean. Thin and easy to carry. I'm trying to see if I have anything on the table that's similar. Let's see. I don't. I mean, I have a Craig Brown LHC here that's even thicker, right? The Rat Model 2, Rat 1, even thicker. It's just perfect. Great carry. This thing drops into the pocket, and because of this deep carry wire clip, it just vanishes. And it's not like obtrusive or offensive when it's sticking out of your pocket. Everything is milled and chamfered right where the way you'd want it to be. It's got a little bit of an edge right here, which is great because that's how you deploy the knife. But it's not sharp, it's just grippy, which is necessary. Even the edges on the cutouts here on the lock bar, which allow it to flex a little bit, are chamfered down. QSP absolutely killed this build. It's a very straightforward design, right? It's got the 1 screw in the back. Oh, by the way, it is reversible. There's some lefty love going on. You can flip the clip to this side if you want. And you can't, of course, change the lock bar, but you can change the clip, which is nice. Other than that, it's got a single screw here and then the pivot, which again is made to look like a 5-spoke racing wheel, which I just think is cool. I told Casey when he designed this thing that I was concerned. Of course I was. He's a friend of mine, and I wanted to love what he had done. But the styling isn't really my styling. So I was concerned. And then it landed. And all my concerns went out the window. Let's do some size comparisons, just so we know. Like I said, it comes in just at 8 inches, which is a really nice, good size for a knife. Here it is against the, well, since we already had it out, the Presidio 2 from Benchmade and the Mini Presidio 2 from Benchmade, right? Really well done. Really well done. Unfortunately, my calipers are dead. Life of a modern reviewer, but I can tell you how much it weighs, so let's do that. Feels pretty light. Yeah, 3.5 ounces for a 3.5 inch blade. It is right there at that ounce per inch that the sort of lightweight EDC guys like. If we take out the unique design aesthetic and just talk about the knife itself, it is spectacular. The blade shape is excellent for cutting. The handle shape is very comfortable in the hand. The overall shape is very comfortable in the pocket. If we put back in the unique design aesthetic, this sort of racing-inspired thing that he's got going on, well, I think the Mach 51 is, I think it's very cool. I really do. I respect you if you don't. You don't have to. But much like the damn design stuff that I showed you and many of the other knives that I have, putting a bit of the maker into the design, their likes and dislikes, what they want in a knife, often means it's not going to be for everyone. I'm okay with that, and I hope you are too. KC, you designed a hell of a knife. Way to go, dude. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate your time. This has been the Mach 51 from Tempest Knives. There'll be a link to the Tempest Knives website and stuff down in the description. There'll be a link to KC's YouTube channel and his Instagram as well. I hope you guys are having a great day. We'll see you next time.